Senator Marco Rubio's silence on UFO whistleblower David Grusch has finally been broken. Journalist Matt Laszlo, who has been doing stellar work and is indeed a disclosure warrior, broke this story. I'm going to read Laszlo's introduction as well as the transcript between Senator Rubio and Laszlo. The full article by Matt Laszlo with the accompanying audio can be found in the description below. Exclusive. Rubio says UAP whistleblower first credibly vetted, referred to Congress. There's one massive difference between the latest unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP formerly UFO whistleblower, and similar ones who've come before, according to Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chair Marco Rubio. The Inspector General vetted former U.S. intelligence officer David Grusch, found him credible, and then referred him to Congress. Quote, "We've heard those claims in the past. This is the first one that's gone through this process," the Florida Republican tells me in an exclusive interview at the United States Capitol. Rubio also confirms it's not just Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat of New York, a member of both the Select Intelligence and Armed Services Committee, actively vetting Grusch in the Senate. Quote, "He's interviewed with staff already," Rubio tells me of the Intelligence Committee. Below is a transcript of that is Matt Laszlo's, brief if revealing interview with Rubio as he rushes to cast a vote on the Senate floor. The audio and transcript are also available on SoundCloud. PSA, stay tuned. More exclusive breaking congressional UAP news to come in the ensuing days and weeks. Matt Laszlo, quote, "Do you have any questions lingering for the whistleblower?" Marco Rubio, do I have any questions? Matt Laszlo, do you think he classifies as a whistleblower? Marco Rubio, well, the Inspector General has deemed it an urgent and credible threat to the... So that's how it's been referred to us. So I have no reason... Matt Laszlo, yeah? So you're taking it credibly. Do you want to hear from him and others behind closed doors in the open? Marco Rubio, well, we've begun that process. Obviously, it's up to the chairman, Mark Warner, to decide what direction to go. But I know we've already begun that process. I think he's interviewed with staff already, so... Matt Laszlo, what do you think of the notion that there are SAPs, special access programs, hidden from Congress? Marco Rubio, those claims have been made for years, and that's certainly something we'd be very disturbed by. And that was the gist of the whistleblower's claim, is that there are programs that should have been notified to Congress that were not. So we're going to be interested in that no matter what the topic is. Matt Laszlo, and that's kind of new compared to others in the past. Marco Rubio, well, we've heard those claims in the past. This is the first one that's gone through this process. Matt Laszlo, interesting. And then Matt Laszlo asks you to follow him on Twitter. I'll also leave a link to his Twitter account in the description below as well. Don't mind this, it's just the, it's just the disclosure flute, no big deal. Stay humble, everybody. Matt Laszlo left some interesting tidbits on Twitter, so we're gonna go into that. He revealed a little bit of intelligence of what's coming down the pipe. UFO Titan writes, "Great work, Matt." Well, let me get into what he's citing first. There is a citation from the original article from the debrief that broke this whole story by Ralph Blumenthal and Leslie Kane, and I'm going to go into that right now. Associates who vouched for Grusch said his information was highly sensitive, providing evidence that materials from objects of non-human origin are in the possession of highly secret black programs. Although locations, program names, and other specific data remain classified, the Inspector General and Intelligence Committee staff were provided with these details. Several current members of the recovery program spoke to the Inspector General's office and corroborated the information Grusch had provided for the classified complaint. And then from that citation, UFO Titan writes, "Great work, Matt. Below seems to be the million-dollar question. Supposedly, members of the actual UAP recovery program corroborated Grusch's claims to the IG, Inspector General. Did this happen in Congress as well? Can sources from the IG verify this? Seems to be an important data point." Matt Laszlo responds, "I have news on this early with helpful reminders next week." UFO Titan responds, "Good luck, sir. Seems like a pretty simple question. Were locations, program names, and individuals in the program verified or not? Seems like game over if they were. Or even better, would the IG have passed this along to Congress without verification?" Matt Laszlo responds, "From what Rubio says, no, the Inspector General wouldn't have. Mind expanded," UFO Titan responds. Yeah, a point that many of us have made on here is that this story deserves to be run to ground because either A, it's the biggest story of all time, B, an elaborate hoax has made its way to top levels of Congress, C, it's all a big mistake and any one is worth reporting. Matt Laszlo responds, "Preach. May quote you, cuz 100. Really interesting piece dropped on the Hill YouTube channel yesterday. In the following clip, Jessica Burbank broaches the sequence of people that have come forward over the decades claiming that crash retrievals have taken place. After this clip runs, I will give my commentary.
The people who would be familiar with the matter have corroborated that it's the case. It's been frequent throughout, recent history that former members of the intelligence and military community have come out and shared information about this, some tidbits of data where possible. And so it's not surprising to me that now finally we're getting to the place where members of the military and intelligence community are willing to talk about this with reporters because I think it's of public interest to know if aliens have been here.
I would say that saying it's of public interest is an understatement. It's of interest to all 8 billion humans on this planet. And it's of interest with specificity to the scientific community, the academic community, the philosophical community, the theological community, the journalistic community, our educational system, our greatest innovators like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, among others. Just imagine the expression on the faces of people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos if they learned that there was a Cold War amongst peer adversaries striving to get better and better at locating when UFOs are going to go down. And as David Grusch pointed out, he stated more or less that there are techniques to actually bring them down. So a component of this peer adversarial Cold War that is allegedly occurring is that in some instances with certain techniques, these non-human machines are being taken down and therefore collected for study. And obviously this technology holds a lot of promise for our world if we could ever ultimately figure out how it works and apply it to our infrastructure to improve the quality of life on this planet for all of us. I want to reiterate something Jessica Burbank stated in the previous clip before I give my commentary. She said, "The people who would be familiar with the matter have corroborated that it's the case. It's been frequent throughout recent history that former members of the intelligence and military community have come out and shared information about this, some tidbits of data where possible." She's referring to crash retrievals. I want to cite a few examples of people that have come out and stated that this is all real from very recent history. Bob Bigelow recently stated it on the show New Thinking Aloud with Jeffrey Mishlove, and I'm sure he's stated it prior to that. I think Luis Elizondo stated it, maybe it was back in 2019 on Tucker Carlson show, where Lou Elizondo said he believes that materials have been recovered Colm Kelleher this year, I believe, on Weaponized Podcast with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp said that there have been crash retrievals. Eric Davis has also stated that there have been crashed and landed technical craft of non-human origin that have been retrieved by the U.S. government. And finally, obviously, David Grusch has recently stated that there have been crash retrievals. So that's just recently, and then there's people going back further than that that have made this claim. And now we have, for the first time in American history, the Inspector General involved, Congress involved, a very serious investigation involved to see if it's true that there is a crash retrieval program within the United States government that not only recovers foreign technologies, which the crash retrieval program does, but also UAP technology of non-human origin. And we're living in exciting times, indeed. On June 22nd, on bu.edu, which is Boston University's website, an interesting article dropped titled, "Is the Government Concealing UFO Craft and Dead Extraterrestrials?" BU's Joshua Semeter on a former Pentagon employee's eye-popping claims. I'll share a few excerpts. Most UAP sightings have been found to be explicable by factors that are down to earth, as it were, but a tiny percentage remains unexplained. Is the truth really out there? BU Today asked Joshua Semeter, a College of Engineering professor of electrical and computer engineering. He directs BU's Center for Space Physics and is a member of NASA's team that's a report later this year on what we know and don't about the evidence for UAPs. What investigation is being made of his claims, either by your study team or any other relevant government entity? Referencing UFO whistleblower David Grusch. Our study panel is charged with bringing scientific rigor to bear on UAP claims. We are working in collaboration with the Defense Department's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which is focused on safety and national security aspects of UAP. David Grusch must be treated as a credible witness, as with the military aviators who have also come forward with eyewitness accounts of anomalous objects. But without data or material evidence, we are at an impasse on evaluating these claims. Now it's time for the dessert. That UFO podcast tweeted this out. I read it. It's intriguing. It's by Joshua Reed, who has a podcast. I don't know the validity of what he stated, but I'm just including it because it's fuel for the imagination, whether or not it's true. But let's dig in. Joshua Reed at Real Joshua Reed. Well, since they said it, I guess we can talk about it. Did you know back in the 1970s, the U.S. Navy placed acoustic sensor devices all throughout the ocean floor? This was to map the ocean floor, detect submarines, and to find other anomalies. The technology covers a large portion of the ocean floor and has given the Navy an amazing perspective of the underwater terrain. One of my contacts while in the Navy who worked on the ASW team, who was responsible for monitoring these sensors, would discuss underwater submersible objects they detected that would travel out at thousands of miles per hour underwater. He said they have also detected various structures underwater that are active and they stay clear of. And this, anyway, enjoy your day. And he's citing insider papers breaking a top secret U.S. Navy acoustic. I'm guessing he's referencing the report that Navy acoustics detected the submersible that very tragically reportedly imploded and all the occupants perished as a result. Please do not forget to subscribe. And if you'd like to support my channel, you can check out my merch shop where I sell t-shirts. You could become a patron. You could become a YouTube member. You could give me a one-time donation. All those potentialities can be accessed in the description below. Or you could just slap a like on this bad boy and I will appreciate it so very, very much. You know something? We're playing the disclosure flute today. We're about to traverse the disclosure portal. Fasten your seatbelts. Oh, God. We're about to traverse the disclosure portal. Fasten your seatbelts. See you there. I love you. Special thanks to all patrons, YouTube members, those that have bought merch, those that have given me one-time donation. I couldn't do without you. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.